Hey, everybody. Hey, Michael. Hi, Marilyn. Good to see you. Happy Tuesday. Just Jay tonight. Cindy had some appointments before we leave for about a week. So, hey, Brian. Hi, Cliff. Tour Tuesday, January 6th. Hey, Pam. Hi, John. Hey, Susan. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. So excited. It has been gorgeous out this week. I'm getting to head to a place. I guess I have been to Reno, but I have not been to Lake Tahoe. So I'm excited to see Lake Tahoe, even though it's probably just for the day, but still good opportunity to go out there. So Tour Tuesday, January 6th. Like I said, Cindy has some appointments to take care of before we leave. We are leaving Thursday. Hey, Jody, for ABA. And we'll talk about that a little bit here. We've got some amazing spring tours to talk about. We've also got our group airfare. We thought we'd run through some frequently asked questions on how that all works because we have so many people flying with us from all over the country that we'd run through that. And then a big announcement at the end, too, which you might have seen on Facebook earlier this week and this weekend. So, hey, Bree. Hi, Darlene. Okay, first things first, Happy New Year. So glad you're all here. It's been an amazing start to the year. It's been great to be back in the office with everybody. I love to work. It's a part of my life. I love to be in the office, making things happen with our team. And so on Monday, we're really hit the ground running with, our full staff back working from all over the country. We've got Bree in Dallas. We've got Steph and Kiri in Kansas City. And we've got Cindy and I and Pat and Sue and Judy and Jenna in the Omaha office. And of course, Tom's around helping us around. And then, everybody else has got their fingers and everything. Just a great thing to see the spiderweb come back to life and see everything work again. So super, super excited to be back. So many amazing things are happening in 2026 that we can't wait to tell you all about. So Happy New Year for sure. Our first tours are departing here very shortly. So on the 19th, we have the New Orleans tour with Mark. So Mark will be taking a big group down to New Orleans. I think we have 41. So that's a great size group to go down to the Big Easy. Somebody today asked me if they could bring their beads. I'm like, of course, bring all the beads. That'll be so fun. Bringing down on Bourbon Street. It's a great tour. And then right after that is South Padre, our first fly-in tour of the year, and also the biggest fly-in tour we've ever had. So the most people flying at one time. It's our first time with that. So Cliff is taking that trip. So excited to be down in South Padre. What a relaxing trip. It sounds amazing. I would love to skip out and go enjoy that trip. So can't wait to hear how it all goes. Hey, Stephanie. Good to see you. Stephensmeyer. Okay, and so we're talking about ABA. We've talked about that last year. So every year, the American Bus Association, which we are a member of, hosts a conference. And it's the biggest one in North America. It has to do everything with group travel. That could be buses. That could be tour operators like we are. It could also be a lot of vendors. So your theme parks, your hotel vendors, some food vendors, some restaurants, just tons of them. And they all kind of converge on one city in January, because it's kind of the slow time for the tour season, to network, share about what's new in the industry, meet industry leaders. And then the biggest thing is what's called the marketplace. And so that is where we spend a lot of time. And this year I'm excited to have 3 people. So it's not just Cindy and I, it's Cindy and I and Bree. We can sort of divvy it up a little bit. So what we do is what part of it is called the marketplace. And it's basically from like 8:30 to 5:45 for 3 days straight. And we have a table, and then we have appointments, and then all the vendors literally run in between all the different tour operators and come for an appointment. And so we have 192 appointments in 3 days. So we meet with a ton of different vendors from all over, could be all over the world, that are either people we've known already that we work with currently, or people that we want to work with to enhance our tours. It's always so great to work with an operator or to work with a vendor that you know face to face. And so we've really enjoyed getting to know people from some places we've been to. We've never met the people that work there. And so this is an opportunity to do that. And so it would be great to do all that. They have a big break for lunch that we do, and we meet other operators, and they do like Broadway and everything like that for that. And then at night, there's always like more networking. So you're basically networking from 8 to 9 p.m., 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Something else we like to do is go meet other tour operators that are not around here, right? And so we ask them other questions that we're, going through. So, what do they offer that we don't offer, or how do they do this marketing, or how do they do that, just to see how we can grow and what we can provide for all of our amazing guests here out of our area. So it's an amazing opportunity. It's so great to be able to meet everyone, and it's a great resource, a very productive time. So very excited to be out there. And then we also want to bring a tour out to Lake Tahoe. We've never been, and since Reno's right there, one day we're going to go out and scout out Lake Tahoe. So we have a couple of things lined up that Bree, Cindy, and I are going to go visit, and then spend some time in Reno. So, hey, Cole. Hi, good to see you. Hi, Pat. Thanks for being on. Okay, so we've got 3 tours that we want to run through with you tonight. Really, really exciting stuff here. Spring tours that you don't want to miss. So we've got the Kentucky Derby Tour is number 1. So we do this trip every year. We started one of the very first tours we ever took. Cindy and I did it in a white van with 8 guests. Maybe there was 10. All the luggage in the back, and just try to figure out how to make that work. And it was a blast. And we've done it every year since. And we're now one of the only companies that does it during Derby week. And you don't just go for the Derby. You are there for the events that lead up to the Derby, or theme things that have to do with it. So, for instance, on our Derby tour, day 1 is a travel day, right? You get to meet everybody, you get to have some amazing food, stay overnight in Evansville. And then the next day, we do a behind the scenes at the Downs. So at Churchill Downs, in the paddock area. And that is where the Derby horses are. They will be there, back there. And that's where they're being bathed, they're housed, they're trained. They meet the jockeys back there. The jockeys are back there. The owners are back there. The riders, all those things, all the people are back there working on the horses. Then this is like 2 or 3 days before the Derby. And we're back there. And we're the only tour group that gets to do it now. Every other tour group they've quit doing it for, we're the only ones. So we get to have a guide that takes us our group specifically around, park our tour bus right back there, get out, walk all the way around, get to experience the paddock from behind the scenes, and then get to go have breakfast where the jockeys have breakfast. The windows are literally on the track, and then you can see the jockeys practicing as they run by. So that alone, that experience is like you can't get anywhere else. It's totally worth it. That's just the tip of the iceberg. And then we're going to go do some different distillery tastings because you can't do the Derby without bourbon. We also do the Great American Steamboat Race. So we have tickets and dinner on an old American steamboat ship. It's the Belle of Cincinnati. And it races the Belle of Louisville, and sometimes other boats there too. We race up and down the river. And that's really, really fun, very nostalgic. It's a great time. It includes bourbon tasting on there also. So if you're into that, you could do that on the ship as well. And then the next day, you're going to meet a horse. You're going to go to a horse farm where they actually raise these horses. And we talk about this all the time. This young lady was in the corporate world for a long time, saved a bit of money to build her own horse sanctuary. And now she rehabilitates horses and other animals. And then in turn, those horses and animals rehabilitate humans, whether they have special needs or they have had some trauma in their life. She works with them with the animals, and it's just an absolutely life-changing story. It's very heartfelt. It's so amazing, and we get to meet the horses and the colts and the goats that try to get on the bus every year. They always try to get on the bus, and Robert hates it because they try to poop on the bus, but they haven't. But it's so funny. And then you're going to go to the Bell House for lunch. It's a local restaurant. It's literally a pink house called the Bell House. Chef Brett cooks an amazing lunch there. You can have some of the classics like a hot brown, chicken salad sandwich. They have these grapes. I can't remember what they're called, but they're like purple grapes rolled in yogurt and brown sugar. And I thought, I'm not eating that until I had one. Oh my gosh, they were amazing. It was so good. I couldn't get enough of them. So those are there. And then they have all kinds of pies and things for dessert, so you can't miss it. And then that afternoon, you are going to do a bourbon distillery, a bourbon tour. We usually get to do Jim Beam, and that's what we're going to do again this year. That's really great. It's a big production facility. They do a great job with the tour, and obviously get to taste it at the end. Okay, so then Friday, you're going to do the Oaks Derby. So you have an option this day. The tour includes 2 race days. So on Friday is the Oaks. That is like your pink day, your breast cancer awareness day. That's where the fillies run. And so it is basically 10 to 6 p.m. we're there. And it's your first opportunity to sort of get to Churchill Downs and have the experience of what it's like without it being so packed. It does get busy later in the day, but when we get there, it's very low key. And so it's like it's the best time to shop and try all the food and do all of it before Saturday when it's really crazy. And then you'll get to know how the Churchill Down works and how like the betting works and the process and everything. It's a great warm up to Saturday's big day. Or if you're like, hey, I'd love to go do the Derby, but I'm not so much into 2 days of racing at the Downs. We offer an excursion to go out to the Kentucky Horse Park where they have the horses that retired. They can retire out there. So that's a good day excursion. And then you just pick up the guests on the way back from that. And then, of course, you have the Kentucky Derby on Saturday. And so this is the granddaddy of races. It's the most famous one in the world now. And so this is when we would go. We get you there. You're there about 10 o'clock. And then you stay till right after Derby. That time changes every year. My goodness, it used to be 5. Now it's 5:30, then 6, 6:30, 6:57. So we're there until we watch the whole race, run through the finale, and they make sure that they crown the winner, and then we head out of there. And then the next day you drive back. And so it's just a great way to see the Kentucky Derby and be around horses and just the atmosphere and the exhilaration. I mean, it's literally a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's so great. So we have 2 tours. We have the one that departs from Omaha, which is April 28th through May 3rd. Okay. And then we have one that's leaving from Valentine. It leaves a day earlier. You're both going to come to Omaha and do the whole tour the exact same, but a second bus is going to leave from Valentine. So Valentine, you're coming a day early. So if you're from the Valentine O'Neill area, you're leaving on April 27th. Then you're going to come to Omaha that day, have dinner, spend the night at the Doubletree Hotel, and then in the morning you'll meet the rest of the group and continue on. So we are picking up in Valentine, O'Neill, Wisner, Beamer, Norfolk, all those towns up there. So if you wanted to go on tour and share this with your friends that are up there, tell them, let them know. This is a tour that actually picks up there. The bus will pick you up there, and then you'll be on your way to the Kentucky Derby. Another new thing with this is people are asking, how do you see where do you sit? So you have a couple options. The tour includes infield access. Okay, so that's where you would bring your lawn chair and we would make a base camp in the infield. And then you would have they have every kind of vendor you could think of, all of the food, all the booze, all the drinks, all the shopping, all the bedding, all the bands, everything is in the infield. And you just walk around all day long and watch the horses. It says you can't see the track from the infield, but that's not true. You can from the corners. And they also have one of the world's largest Jumbotron screens that's right behind you. So you can see it better than everybody else, basically, because you're watching on that huge screen. And everybody else is watching it from there, too, because they can only see a part of the track. They can only see a part of what they're seeing. So it's really fun. It is totally an experience that you should have. I've done it twice. We also have 2 different reserve seating. So now you have the infield reserved, which includes all your food and drinks, including alcoholic beverages, for both the Oaks and the Kentucky Derby day. Okay, that's Friday and Saturday. All right. That is an infield. Now that means that there's no cover. Okay. So it's bleacher seating. So you have a reserved seat in the infield with free food and booze both days, but it's not undercover. It rains 50% of the time. So take that for what it's worth. Hey, Jude. Vermilion as well. Yes, Brie will pick up there at Vermilion as well. And then we have your first turn reserve seating. This is the primo seats. This is on the first turn around the corner. This includes all your food and drinks. It is also undercover. It also has really close bathrooms. So that is if you're gonna do it once, I would pick those seats and upgrade. It's a great experience no matter where you sit. So don't let that change your mind. If you want to go, let's go. Just do it. But they're on the brochure and the price is listed on there as well. So you can upgrade those seats. So you don't have to decide right away when you sign up for the trip, but I would sign up for the trip quickly because it fills up very fast, especially now that we just hit the new year. So check those out. Valentine and Omaha departures in April, getting into May. Okay, we got a lot to cover. Okay, so the next one is Spring in DC. This tour is almost full. We have 6 seats left on this. This is April 20th through the 24th. It's 5 days, 8 meals. This is a fly-in tour, $25.99, which we're going to talk about flights today. So this includes airfare and your hotel in Alexandria. It's a gorgeous hotel. So the first day, you're going to fly with the group. You're going to get there. We're going to pick you up, and we're going to go over to the hotel, and then we're going to have an amazing welcome dinner, and then we're going to do an illuminated night tour. Okay. It's so brilliant. It's so great to see the monuments all lit up at night. It is spectacular. And the tour is narrated with a guide, a local step-on guide. So they kind of weave all the monuments into a story, and it's really breathtaking. So it's a really fun, big first day. Then day 2, you are going to be going to Arlington National Cemetery to see changing of the guard at the Kennedy Memorial. And you're going to do it all by golf cart. So they have like a tram. So you don't have to walk the whole thing, which is amazing. So it's also narrated. So you're getting to know a lot about, Arlington National Cemetery, what it takes to be buried there, all of those, what ceremonies happen there, a lot about the changing of the guard. It happens every half hour in the summer. And then every hour during the rest of the season. So you're going to get to see that amazing experience. And then you're going to go to the Marine Corps Memorial. You're also going to go to the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. You're going to go to the National Mall, where you'll get to spend time at some of the Smithsonian's. The good thing about the Smithsonian's is they're all on the National Mall, and you can pick which ones you want to go to because they're all within walking distance. So your guide will just say, hey, I'm going to go do this one. If you'd like to come with me, let's go do that. If you have one in mind that you'd like to go to, you can do that as well. And then you can all just be back up. And then you will go to the Tidal Basin, and then you're going to do a dinner overlooking the Potomac River. Spectacular. That's day 2. Day 3, you're going to visit the Pentagon. So this is another 9/11 memorial because it's where one of the flights crashed into the Pentagon. See that memorial. And then you're going to go to, let's see here. Oh, yes, Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon is George Washington's home. It's been remodeled and redone, so it's even more spectacular. What I remember from being there is not only how it felt to walk on the grounds, but you looked into the same mirror that George Washington looked into. That was an amazing experience. I think that he stood where we stood or going to stand and looked in that same exact mirror and saw his reflection. That's pretty intense. It's breathtaking, and the whole grounds are amazing. Him and his wife are buried there, so you can actually see their tomb. It's just an amazing visit. There's also going to be a cruise with that. And so it's just an amazing day to spend in DC. Day 4 is going to be the icons. So you're going to visit the Capitol. You're going to visit the Supreme Court building. You actually tour the Capitol. You're going to get to go to the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument. So it's just going to be like your icons. And then we're also going to do the Holocaust Museum. That's been a huge ask, a huge request. And so we secured those tickets because we had to do it yesterday. They sell out in one day. And so Bree and Steph were online waiting to make sure that we had tickets. So like I said, we have 16 people going on the tour. We have 4 more left. So we're going to take 20. So if you're still looking to go, that's what you want to make sure you get signed up for. And then day 5 is we see any last sights. Depends on when our flights come back. And then we'll get you all to the airport and fly home. So this is an amazing tour. It's so well put together. Cannot wait to be back in DC in the spring. Again, this is April 20th to the 24th. Final little one, so great. This is a great 3-day getaway. It was a huge hit last year. It was one that we put together that's brand new, so it's still newish. This is St. Charles and Herman. This is May 28th through the 30th. 3 days, 5 meals, $6.99. What is unique about this is that we stay in a bed and breakfast. That's just one reason. It's so cool. So day 1, welcome to St. Charles. So we're going to drive to St. Charles. St. Charles is a small town outside of St. Louis. It's known for its history and charm. If you've been to Galena, it's much like that. So it's very quaint. It's got a lot of history. We're going to talk about the history. We're going to do a tour. We're also going to give you time to shop and relax. And then we'll do a welcome dinner. And that's when this is like a very kind of a girlfriend type of trip, right? Take your girlfriends, sisters, go on this trip, enjoy it, shop, laugh, giggle, have a drink, and just enjoy it. A great weekend away. It's just so much fun. The next day, you're going to do a tour of St. Charles, Missouri's first state capital. And then you're going to stroll Main Street. And then you're going to do the Fast Lane Classic Cars if you'd like to. So maybe your husband wants to go with you. Great. Or maybe you're into cars. That's cool too. Then this is a great place to visit, Fast Lane Classic Cars, to admire their impressive showroom collection. This afternoon, you're going to check into Captain Walt Inn Bed and Breakfast. And then you're going to do dinner and live music. So it's a fun evening. And then the next day, you're going to do Stonehill Winery because it's in that town. And then you're going to do the wine tasting, the winemaker tasting. And of course, we're going to do lunch there. And then you'll head back home. So such an amazing 3-day trip. It goes by so fast. You can read about it all online on our website or print off the brochure. Again, that's May 28th through the 30th, 2026. Okay. A couple things here. So we have, let's see here. Yep, Bree's got great comments. Yep. Totally too. Love DC. Awesome. Okay, so we do have a lot of fly-in tours, and so one of the things we wanted to do was we wanted to go over frequently asked questions about how group travel works. Okay, or not group travel, group airfare works because it's different than we did in the past. So in the past, brief history. We didn't have a lot of people that filled up our flying tours. We took really small groups. So we were basically buying the airfare as we were going. And that means you were sort of like at the whim of whatever price it was on that day, along with whatever seats were available. And so that was very painful. And then everybody's on a different schedule. It was a lot to manage. And it was a stressful situation. And it was not manageable for now how fast and how large we've grown. So we have moved now to work with a provider called Allfly. And we met them ABA, and we also met them actually outside of ABA twice. They're an amazing company. They're out of Green Bay. And so what they do is they're providing all the group flights. So we send them our request. So we say, hey, we have a trip to Washington, D.C. It's these dates. We want to come round trip. The majority of them want to come from Omaha because we're based out of Omaha to D.C. and back on these days. And then they send us a couple options for schedules and pricing, and then we say which one we want. Okay, so that way we have a bunch of seats all together. So here's some information. When you sign up with us and it has airfare, these are the things we need from you. We need your full legal name, your date of birth, an email and cell phone number. And that's not so we can market stuff to you. That's so that we can email you your notifications and to call you on the day if something comes up, right? If you have an airline loyalty number, so you'll know what airline we're flying before you leave. So if you're like United points, American points, Delta points, South, whatever, let us have that because we can add that to your reservation. You can earn the rewards miles for the trip. Okay. If you have TSA PreCheck or Global Entry, send us those numbers as well. We're working on getting them added to the order form into our order forms, but just write them on there somewhere. We'll put it on the reservation for you. We can also add them when we're doing our courtesy calls and everything else. So if you forget at some point, we'll get it on there for you. And then your seat preference. So it's going to ask you whether you like a window, an aisle, or next to your companion, and then whether or not you need wheelchair assistance, okay, at the airport. If it's an international group flight, we will need a picture of your passport, but you're going to need your full legal passport name, date of birth, passport number, passport date of issuance, date of expiration, the issuing country, of course, then your email, cell phone number, your loyalty number, TSA PreCheck, Global Entry, and then your seat preference and wheelchair preference. Okay, so here's something that's different now about these than other things. What if I cancel? Do I get a flight credit? In the past, the flight tickets were in your individual name. We bought them with basically your credit card or ours and issued them in your name. So if you canceled, you got a flight credit. With groups, it allows us to cancel much closer to the date. It's about a month, but there is no refund or flight credit. So it's basically a penalty to us. So that's why insurance is great for flying tours, right? Because there is no flight credit refund on the group travel flights. Basically, the airline just takes the seat back and they charge us for it. So that is how that works. What about luggage? So for domestic flights, that's flights within the United States, you may bring one personal item and one carry-on, and that's included in the price. Checked luggage is at your own expense. And we do that for a lot of reasons. Number one, we don't know what size suitcase you want to bring. If you bring one, then it just depends on what people pack, what trip you're going on. Some people can get by with a smaller one. Some people need a bigger one. So it's super easy. You just go to the airport and you add it on last minute. No big deal. It's so easy. Not a problem. For international group flights, though, it's a personal item, a carry-on, and a checked bag. So if you're going overseas with Excite, that's included. Okay. Another thing we get a lot of questions on is seat assignments. How does seating work? Okay, so we do everything we can to honor the seats that you requested, whether it's aisle, window, who you're sitting next to. When we send the information, we put on the sheet, the airline sheet, everybody's name, date of birth, everything they request, and who they're flying with, and they're in order. And then from there, we send that sheet to AllFly, and they deal with whoever the airline is. And then they basically just go beep, 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 put a line of seats. Okay. So most of the time, automatically you're sitting with whoever you signed up with because your name is next to them in the manifest and we put them together. But if you were like 9 and 1 in the different rows, then you're going to end up apart. So we are trying really hard to work with AllFly to hopefully prevent that just in the beginning, just have them look at it. But also, if you see something, just give us a buzz, and we'll do everything we can to try to change it. But you're also more than welcome to upgrade your seats if you want to change seats altogether. But there just might be additional cost for that because of the group airfare, and any upgrade is an additional cost. But so just keep that in mind. It's just the flight. Usually they're not that long, so gosh, it's kind of a good time to have your alone time before you spend 2 weeks with them or something like that. So. But again, if you have any questions about that or something you didn't get the seat you wanted, just call us and we'll try to figure out whatever we can do for you. Okay. We just do the best we can with what we've been assigned through the airline. Do I need to check in online? It's your choice. You do not have to check in online when you're going on a group tour or the site because we already checked you in. So if you like the peace of mind of checking in, by all means, go for it. I will say that sometimes with the group airfare, it will throw off the online apps, and so it will have like more than one person on somebody's reservation, or it'll have like it won't work. So you don't have to check in at all. All you need to do is have received the email that shows your ticket number and what seat you're in, and that's it. Bring your ID to the airport. Once you get to the airport, our team will be there. We'll check you in. We'll get you to the counter. They'll print your tickets off, and you'll be all set. Zero stress. You absolutely don't have to do anything before the tour leaves. This is not Southwest. Southwest changed, so they have reserved seats. So nobody's giving away any seats or anything. It doesn't work that way. Just show up at the airport. It's that easy. Do you need the airline app? You are more than welcome to download the airline app, and you can use it to watch their entertainment on the plane. You can view your flights, information about the flights. It's not required, but you certainly may download the app and view your flight information when we have it. So what happens if there's a flight delay or cancellations? If you're flying with our group experience and experience a delay or cancellation, your tour guide will notify our office right away if we're not already, because we'll already be watching, but they'll let us know. And then AllFly in the airline will work to adjust your schedule. So there's no need for you to wait in line. There's no need for the guide to wait in line anywhere. We're on it behind the scenes. On top of AllFly and the airline working on it, we are also working on it. Bree, JJ, Jenna, and I in the office or wherever we are working on connections. If you want a real life story, ask the people that went on the Christmas Markets of Europe trip. That was wild because they flew through Chicago in the snowstorm and everybody got there as they were supposed to eventually, and luggage got there and all that stuff, but that took a coordinated effort for us all to get there. But that's great. That's what you're paying for. We want to make sure that all you have to do is enjoy it. And while sitting around in the airport may not be that fun, it's better than having to stand in line with a bunch of carry people. So we will take care of that. Will there be somebody in the airport to check me in? Yes, if you're flying from Omaha. If you're flying from any other city, you will have gotten instructions for how to navigate day one, and we will have been in touch with you very shortly prior to day one, and your guy will have probably been in touch with you that day also, the day of. And so you basically just go to your airport, get yourself to the airport, check in, get on your plane, and then fly. And typically, you sort of meet the group in the connecting city, or you'll just meet when you get to the destination. If it's different than that, again, our team will have let you know, and we'll have the transportation arranged for you. So it's very, very simple. It's very, very low stress. We will manage all of that. If you are coming to a domestic flight, you should be there 90 minutes beforehand. If it's an international flight, 2 hours is a good idea. Okay, so that is all about group flights. We're going to make a blog post about it, which I'm going to show you next. So lots of great stuff about group airfare. It's really convenient, easy. And Bree's here in the chat to ask questions about it. Chris Larson, yeah, you can ask Chris about it. Okay, I'm going to share my screen really quick here. Ad stage. This is our travel hub. You can see it right here, Travel Hub. If you click on Travel Hub, it comes here. And you can see all these different amazing posts about what's going on next site, all about different tours. I mean, there's so much great information out here. And the most recent one is see what's coming up, where our guides are going to be. So not only are we going to put out a video and frequently asked questions about group airfare on here, but you'll probably start to see over the next couple of weeks a post about our guides. And you can see where our guides are all going, and you can see what trips they're on. So you can click on like Pat, and then you can see, okay, Pat Severs is right here. It's got her beautiful picture right here. And then what tour she's taking. Okay. And if you click on Smoky Mountain and Biltmore, it takes you to that tour. So you can sign up right away. Isn't that amazing? Our team XPM is just brilliant. They're so great. So you can click on any of those names, read a little bit about them, and then figure out what tour they're on. Very cool. Okay. It is already 8 o'clock. That is wild. I want to make sure you know one more thing, a big announcement. We have 5 new tour parties coming up. And our very first one is Sioux Falls. So Sioux Falls is next. It is the end of January. In fact, let me figure out what date that is. Let's see here more and our events. This is going to be Saturday, January 31st at 1 p.m. So if you're in Sioux Falls or know people in Sioux Falls, please let them know to come. These are in 5 new cities that we have never been in. Okay, and so the tour parties include Sioux Falls on January 31st, Ames, February 1st, St. Joe, Missouri, February 2nd, and then we have a couple weeks off because we're going to be busy. Then we're going to have Sunday, February 15th, Columbus, and Monday, February 16th, probably in Fremont. That is for sure Monday, February 16th, Fremont. And then we are working on Red Oak. Red Oak or Shenandoah will be one about the 17th of February. Okay? So amazing new tour parties. So excited to meet a bunch of people. If you know people in those areas, find the events on Facebook and share it with them. We are also mailing out letters to people that we've had addresses to in those areas. I'm sure there'll be an email about it, but great way to meet new clients. All right. Well, next week we will Tuesday. Oh, we will not be on. We will most likely. That'll be interesting. Tuesday we're going to be flying home, so we will have a guest on doing Tour Tuesday. They don't know this yet, but we'll have a guest on. That'll be fun. So next week we will be. I would say we'll be live from Reno, but we'll be coming home from Reno on Tuesday night, so we will be in the air. But we will have Tour Tuesday. Somebody will be on, so come on next week. And we have some major announcements coming up here in the next couple of weeks, so don't miss a night. Thank you all for being here. We really, really appreciate you. Can't wait to see you out there on the road. Have a great week. Catch y'all later.